you have seen my
What?
post from a couple of days ago, you will know that I am a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 fan. And after they announced Steve, I didn't really know who I wanted for Smash other than Pyra and Mythra. And then lo and behold, 1 week after I beat the game, they get announced and I was stoked. So before Sakurai can go ahead and outdate this video that I planned on doing in 2 weeks, and now have 3 days to make, I'm going to predict the new stuff coming with Pyra and Mythra. The spirits, the songs, their alternate skins, and Mii costumes. This is going to be very much a bare bones explanation because the story of the game is great and I don't want to spoil anything. So if there are any spoilers, I will put a big warning on your screen to let you know. Now, without further ado, let us get into it. But before we get into it, make sure to like and subscribe. That'd be great. There are already several spirits for characters from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in the game, being Rex, Nia, whose fight also references Dromark, Tora and Poppy, Morag, whose fight also references Brigid, and then Zeke, whose fight also references Pandoria. And despite the fact that the blades of these characters will likely get in as well, seeing that Pyra and Mythra are blades, and therefore adding more blades would make sense, I won't be discussing them because it would feel redundant, and therefore the first on my list is Malos. He's a part of the group called Torna, and I guess spoilers, he's basically another of the Aegises, like Pyra and Mythra, and his whole goal is to destroy the whole world. So 500 years ago there's a big old war, and Malos and Mythra are fighting. That's Torna, the Golden Country, summed up. I've not actually played that, I'd like to, but anyway, so no more spoilers anymore. So Malos is a dark blade, and he's got his own sword that he uses that's kind of like Pyra and Mythra's. It's kind of similar, it's not the same though. I think it actually looks like Shulk's. I'd have to look that up, but anyway, so he uses a sword, and for his spirit battle, I don't totally know what to do. There's only like a couple of different modifiers that I'm actually aware of, so I couldn't think of anything for Malos, probably something to do with darkness, and he would be represented by Cloud. Literally any of the versions of Cloud, all of the different versions of Cloud are kind of the same. And so the next person on my list is Jin, who is another member of Torna, and spoilers again. Jin was actually part of the fighting from 500 years ago, and was actually on Mythra's side, but in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, he moves over to Malos' side and joins Torna, and so that's a whole thing, and I won't get into why, because that's the game's whole dealio. Anyway, going back to no spoilers, so he would be represented by Sephiroth, because he has a really long sword that he uses. And if you can't use Sephiroth, there's also Corrin. You can use the male white alt. For Sephiroth, you use the silver alt. I should have said that. And so, the enemy is fast, the player's slow, there's ice effects maybe, and he can reflect, he can block projectiles. But the next is Captain Podrag, which is a fan favorite among Xenoblade fans, because at the beginning of the game, like when it had just came out, I think, he had this voice line, it's, "Don't forget me!" I'll probably put it in here. But when you fight him at the beginning of the game, he says it a lot. You know, he became a fan favorite because he's kind of funny, and people say that, you know, he's the best thing to ever happen to Morardaine's army. So I figured he could be referenced by Captain Falcon in his black alt, and the enemy likes to taunt, because again, you won't forget him. I figured it could be the come on taunt, because it's close enough. Another spirit that I thought could get in would be Cosmos, which is actually a reference to another Xeno game that I'm not actually, like, I don't know much about it. If you want to know more about it, I'd go watch literally anyone else, maybe Anel. I think he's doing a Let's Play of it. I don't know, anyway. So Cosmos is one of the random gacha blades that you can pull, and she's the rarest blade, so she's pretty good, and a lot of people really like her character, especially because of the previous game that she was in. I figured she could be referenced by a Silver Samus because she is a ether cannon, which is a cannon weapon class where you have a big old, like, gun and you shoot, and that's what Cosmos gives her driver. And so I figured her spirit battle, effect thingamajigger could be that she randomly gets her final smash, and that can, you know, obviously the big old Samus laser, because that can be a reference to her specials, which are basically her just shooting a big laser or a lot of lasers or yada yada. There's like a lot of characters that you could reference. These are just my 4 that I figured would be fitting and appropriate. You could go with more of the random gacha blades. You could go with Telosh. You could go with Finch or Korra. You could go with some of the quest blades that you get that I won't go into. You could use... There's a lot of characters that you could reference, and there's just so much material you can pull from that I really feel like the spirits are going to be a lot of fun to see in the game. Now, I'm going to talk about the songs that I think are going to be in the game, and I'm just going to say this up front. Xenoblade has a fucking amazing soundtrack, and so I'm going to put a whole playlist of all of the songs from Xenoblade, and also I think it has a couple from Torna Golden Country. I'm going to put that in the description, and then I'm also going to put a link to a playlist that I've got that's going to have every song that when I was listening through all these songs, I figure these could be really good as battle tracks, or also remade into battle tracks. So, like, if there's any of the quieter ones in there, I figured those could be remade into a cool, epic, like, guitar solo song or something. But anyway, I have 4 very specific songs that I think are really good, and the first of those is More Ardain theme, which I think is kind of my Gar Plains of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because it's got that same, like, memorability that I just immediately am like, this is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for you. And I'm gonna let it play. It's probably played at some point in the video because I love it that damn much, but here it is. And it's really upbeat. I mean, many people think it's the best track in the game, and I might be inclined to agree with them, but another song from the game that I think is really good, and if they left it out, it would be a disgrace to literally everyone. It would be awful, is the Gormott theme, which I'm gonna play right now. The third theme is actually the Tantal theme, which I think is really good because it has a lot of story importance, and I'm definitely not the first person to think of this because I think Chugga Conroy said something really similar in his Let's Play of the game. The night theme is really good for the first half of the story part of Tantal, and then the day theme is really good for the second half, and I won't explain why, and I don't want to spoil anything, but it's probably been playing this whole time, and it's really good, and I'm gonna let some more of it play. And then the fourth song that I think is really freaking good, and if they included it, I don't know if I'd want the lyrics or not. I really don't care about the lyrics. Just every time the song plays is something super epic is happening, and specifically my favorite scene in the entire game, which I might do a video on. Stay tuned for that. This song plays, and it's so triumphant, and like you're turning the fight around, which is most of the time that's when it's used. It's so good. Let's play it. Really freaking good song. I really like it, and again, I think this is one of the songs they should include, and if they don't, I'll probably be upset. And obviously you can't talk about the characters without talking about the alternate skins for the character, and I know that Sakurai posted one in between the time that it's taken me to record this video. I'm actually recording everything past the previous part on Saturday, because I'm an idiot and can't time manage, and I hate myself for it. But anyway, that's beside the point. My point is, he's shown a couple of the alt skins, so if I mention something that he's already shown, or hasn't shown, you know, whatever. But I know that he showed a Poppy Cutie Pie skin for Mythra, I think it was. So obviously that means we're gonna get a Poppy Alpha or Poppy Cutie skin. So anyway, my other things I have written down here are just swapping colors, where Pyra is going to be white and Mythra is going to be the red, just because that's already in actual Xenoblade, so, like, they'd be stupid to not do that, also just because it'd be funny. You can get a Malos and Jin combo, where I thought that Mythra could be seen as Malos, which I think is actually in the game, and then Jin is Pyra, and she can be all silvery and stuff. Another one I have is Rock and Aegean. These are 2 characters you get during the course of the story, so I figure they would be applicable to show, like, you know, here's more characters that you get through the story, and I figure Pyra would be orange and yellow, and Aegean would be for Mythra, with his silver and blue sort of deal, so instead of Mythra being white, like, her hair can be silver, and her outfit can be, like, more blue, maybe change the green part to be blue. I think they did that on the Poppy QT color. So anyway, Abridged and Pandoria, 2 blades of Zeke and Morag. That's not in the same order. Bridges with Morag and Zeke is with Pandoria. And so Pyra would be like blue with the purple hair, and Mythra would be purple with the mint green hair that Pandoria has, I think would be a really good outfit. One that I don't think is gonna happen, but if it did happen, I'd probably lose my mind considering how much they've covered up Pyra and Mythra. But if they added the swimsuit skins to Smash, I mean, the game isn't for good boys and girls anymore. We've already got the 2 anime babes that everybody loves, so just give them their swimsuit costumes, because why not? It'll go with Sephiroth, it'll go with Shaw. Anyway, and then the final one that I really hope they do this one is the disguise skin. During the course of the adventure, Pyra gets this, she gets this coat to put over herself because they're trying to hide from people, and obviously Pyra is red and green. So, you know, she gets this little coat and it's got little, ears on it and whatever, and people really love it. So they should just give them a skin where Pyra has her orange one that she gets in the story, and then you can give Mythra, a white and black striped one, because not only would it coincide with Pyra's, because Mythra doesn't get one. I feel like if they'd given her one, people would also love that. But the white and black stripes can be a reference to Dromark, which hasn't been referenced at all in any of the other costumes, so I figure it would make sense to include that one as well. I meant to do this in a different spot, but I also figured that since there's so many gotcha blades in the game that you could reference 2 of them, the 2 that I chose are Korra and Finch, with Pyra being the pink and Mythra being the yellow and green, probably a green outfit and yellow, or keep the blonde hair. And, you know, that's just 2. There's so many characters you could choose from. I mean, there's Cosmos, there's Telos, again, there's a lot of really good inspiration you could take here. You could go with having them reference drivers, with Pyra being the driver and Mythra being the blade, or, you know, swap that around. Or, heck, you could give them where you can just mix and match the colors. So you can have the Malos color Mythra, and you could also have the Mythra colored Pyra, you know? I mean, just something like that I think would be real interesting, and that might be why they haven't shown the alt skins yet. I don't know. I don't know if they actually ever show the alt skins before they do the Sakurai Presents, so I don't know. Anyway, I really hope they have good skins. And of course, you can't talk about the characters without talking about the Mii costumes that have deconfirmed characters in them. And I'm not going to be talking about any deluxe costumes like a Sans or whatever, because I don't want to be the guy to predict that Crash is going to get a deluxe Mii fighter and then it happens. Because I know a lot of people want Crash, and I think I even said in the crap post from the other day that, he's not my cup of tea, but I feel like he's worth putting in. So, I really hope they don't put him in as a deluxe Mii costume, and there's a lot of characters I really hope they don't do deluxe Mii costumes of, just because people are gonna be pissed. But anyway, so, one of the first ones that I said... Dog, why do you come in here? I told you to leave. I mean, you can be in here, I just figured that you'd rather be outside with, you know, more room to walk around. You can stay in here, though. That's okay. There's a blooper. So the first Mii skin I thought of, obviously, Malos being the titular main bad guy of the game. I figure, you know, let's put him in. Let's put him in as a Mii costume. We'll get the bad guy representation. And, yeah, the other one I thought of was get the 2 other party members. You can get Zeke and you can get Bridget. You can get them in the game and they can rock out. I figured that Zeke could be a sword fighter because he's got his sword. He can do the Ultra Lightning Fury Slash. Anyway, and then Bridget. I didn't mean to put Bridget. I put Bridget in my notes. I meant Morag. We can have Morag, and, you know, Morag. I figured Morag could be a brawler. Maybe she can have the 2 Bridget whips on her side, and she can rock out with that. Another character I thought of, which would be really interesting, because I really love him in the game, is Van Damme. He's a character that you meet along the story, and I figured that he could also be a brawler, because, I mean, look at him. He's a big burly guy. He can go toe-to-toe with some fisticuffs and whatnot. I'm a loser. So you can have rock sides on Van Damme's side, like Morag has Bridget's dual whips on her side. Took me a couple tries to get that. I don't know why it was so hard to say that. Anyway, and so another character I thought of was Poppy QT. I figured she could be a gunner because her little punchy thingies. You'd think she's a brawler, but they're actually arm cannons and they have missiles in them. So I figured, you know, I've not had a Mii gunner yet, so we'll put them as a Mii gunner. And then I said a Xenosaga rep. I don't know who, because I don't know anything about Xenosaga. I just know that it was like kind of the prequel stuff to the Chronicle series, so let's get a Xenosaga rep in there. Let's make people happy, you know, because like, you know, I don't care, but get him in there. Another good idea, we can put Cosmos in. I think Cosmos actually is from the Xenosaga franchise. Let's get another Xenosaga rep, and then also Cosmos. And, you know, if Cosmos isn't a Xenosaga rep, I'm gonna look like a big old idiot. Anyway, so we'll get Cosmos in there. She can be a meat gunner. You can figure it out. She can use her ether cannon like a handheld gun or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, those are my picks for the Mii fighters. They're not very interesting, other than that they're just all Xenoblade reps, because I want more Xenoblade love in the game. And that's gonna be my picks for what I want to see coming with Pyra and Mythra into Smash Bros. And I'm really happy that, like, just a week after I finished the game, and I finally realized what an amazing game it was, because, like, I got stuck on this one very specific fight, and in More Ardain, and so I quit playing, and then I come back to it, and I finally get past that fight, and get past and see all of the, amazing characters that are in the game. I don't know. I think it's just really great. I guess I should thank Chucky Conroy for that. I mean, I never would have gone back to replay it if he hadn't restarted his Let's Play. Because, like, I wanted to, but there's so many other games, and so I guess thanks to him for bringing me back. He's doing a whole long Let's Play on Xenoblade. It's definitely worth it. He also tells you how to get into the game if you're just interested in picking it up, because Pyra and Mythra are in Smash. Yeah, go watch him. He's good. He's great. I love him. 10 out of 10. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I want to see. Let me know in the comments what you want to see. I'm motioning with my hands, but you can't see me because I don't do face cam, and I never will. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hit like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much.